My name is Zorplexia Norp, but you can call me Zorp. I come from the planet Blarblomp in the Andromeda galaxy. As an intergalactic anthropologist, my job is to study and learn about different alien civilizations across the universe. For my latest assignment, I have come to observe the peculiar species known as humans on the planet they call Earth. One concept these humans seem utterly obsessed with is what they refer to as love. From my studies so far, love appears to be a mysterious force that compels humans to engage in bizarre mating rituals and generate tiny clone versions of themselves called babies. They even have entire genres of auditory entertainment dedicated to the pursuit of this love. How curious. To better understand this phenomenon, I have assumed a human disguise and integrated myself into one of their urban colonies known as New York City. So far, I have successfully passed as an ordinary human named Zach Smith. I even have gained employment at an establishment called Burgers and Stuff, where I exchange menial labor for monetary compensation. My human colleagues often remark on my lack of a love life. They insist I cannot truly understand humanity until I experience love firsthand. In an effort to blend in, I have initiated contact with a potential mate named Jessica, who seems receptive to my advances. We have partaken in several customary human courtship rituals already, like sustaining unbroken eye contact while consuming overpriced plant matter and manually interlocking our upper limbs. Perhaps with Jessica's aid, I can finally unravel the mysteries of this perplexing human emotion. Or maybe I will accidentally reveal my extraterrestrial origins and send the local populace into a terrified frenzy. Either way, it is sure to be an illuminating adventure full of amusing misunderstandings and wacky hijinks. Stay tuned to find out what happens next in this exhilarating saga of interplanetary dating. My awkward courtship rituals with Jessica continued apace. We progressed from ocular locking over greenery ingestion to repeated frontal mucous membrane contact. Apparently among humans, this kissing activity enables exchange of vital biochemical data to assess pair bonding viability. Perhaps with Jessica's aid, I can finally unravel the mysteries of this perplexing human emotion. Or maybe I will accidentally reveal my extraterrestrial origins and send the local populace into a terrified frenzy. Either way, it is sure to be an illuminating adventure full of amusing misunderstandings and wacky hijinks. Stay tuned to find out what happens next in this exhilarating saga of interplanetary dating. My awkward courtship rituals with Jessica continued apace. We progressed from ocular locking over greenery ingestion to repeated frontal mucous membrane contact. Apparently, among humans, this kissing activity enables exchange of vital biochemical data to assess pair bonding viability. Jessica's mucous membrane is rich with sensory information. I have analyzed traces of artificial tanning formula, remnants of perished terrestrial fauna forms used as nutritional fuel, and a robust microbial profile. My preliminary conclusion: she is a suitable mate by human standards. Zach seems capable of meeting Jessica's primitive emotional needs. She makes a strange purring sound if I caress her dorsal area correctly, and she becomes docile and compliant if I present offerings of condensed chocolate biomass. But the more time I spend with Jessica, the more perplexed I am by the human love concept. There seem to be endless ritualistic behaviors required to maintain a coupling, not to mention, apparently, it never goes smoothly and involves something called fighting. Very odd indeed. I must learn more. Our next scheduled human mating ritual is called Meeting the Parents. This unfamiliar custom involves communal ingestion of a home-cooked meal and discussion of intentions toward one's mate. I am told it is a pivotal moment in human courtship. Should be fascinating. But I hope it does not accidentally reveal my true alien identity. Jessica might not take that too well right now. The Meeting of Parents ritual was a catastrophe. I do not understand how humans survive these ordeals. There was so much sensory overload, First, Jessica's mother unleashed an auditory assault about my suitability as a mate for her offspring. I tried to politely nod along in human fashion while analyzing the sound waves, but the frequency nearly shattered my oral membranes. And her father kept waving primitive projectile weapons around. I believe this was meant to intimidate me, but I come from a planet where we evolve past physical violence. So I simply complimented the adornments on his projectiles to be polite. This only seemed to enrage him further. During the ritual, I regurgitated matter into my facial orifices. Apparently, this is a sign of weakness for humans, damaging my standing as a mate. Jessica screamed at me, and our courtship appears to be over. This love concept is endlessly perplexing, but I must persevere and find a new human mate to continue my study. There is still so much to learn about how it governs seemingly every aspect of human existence. My mission is too important to fail. The fate of intergalactic relations may depend on deciphering this human emotion. I cannot let my people down.
Story 2. First time I encounter a human. The first time I encountered the human, I almost shot it. I was patrolling Sector 9 of the Andromeda planetary system when suddenly my scout ship's alarm blared. According to my radar, an unidentified object had just appeared out of nowhere. One moment the sky was clear, the next there was that thing. I readied my plasma cannon, certain it was a sneak attack from those infernal Zordaxians. But when the object came into view, I nearly fell out of my seat. It wasn't a battlecruiser or an attack pod. It was a human. The bipedal creature floated in space, its slender limbs waving wildly. A spherical glass helmet enclosed its round, fleshy head. It wore a bulky white suit, though it bore no weapons I could see. I had never encountered a human before, but I instantly knew what it was. After all, humans were legendary across the universe for their peculiar abilities. Some said they could read minds, walk through walls, or spontaneously catch fire and not burn. Others claimed humans could fold space, reanimate the dead, or swallow live grenades without being harmed. Of course, no one could verify these rumors. Humans came from a tiny remote planet in the Milky Way galaxy. They rarely left their own solar system. For all we knew, their powers were exaggerated. Yet there one was, floating right outside my ship. It pressed its hands against the glass dome covering its head and made exaggerated facial expressions, crinkling its nose, waggling its tongue. Clearly it was attempting to communicate, though whether it was a greeting or a threat, I could not tell. I decided the wisest course of action was to terminate the creature before it could attack. I took aim, charging my plasma cannon. But curiosity got the best of me. What abilities might this human possess? What strange powers lurked within its fragile body? And how in Zordax's name did it get here? So many light years from home? So instead of obliterating it, I brought the human aboard and placed it in an energy cell for holding. If necessary, I could eliminate it later. For now, I would try communicating with the creature. All knowledge was valuable to the Zordaxian Empire, and this human could possess untold secrets. Little did I know the chaos this decision would unleash aboard my ship, or how this seemingly innocuous encounter would change the course of my life forever. But I am getting ahead of myself. I stared at the human through the energy barrier of its cell, still perplexed by its sudden appearance. It gazed back at me with its spherical eyes, its abdomen contracting and expanding at regular intervals, possibly a respiratory function. "Why have you come here?" I addressed it in universal, the intergalactic language. The human blinked and said nothing. Of course, universal would be foreign to it. Instead, it nodded vigorously, as if encouraging me to continue speaking. "What planet do you hail from?" I asked. I already knew the answer, but hoped for a response that would confirm the creature's origins. Again, it simply smiled and nodded. Frustrated, I turned up the power on the energy barrier, thinking the mild shock might stimulate a reaction. The human jerked backwards, then pressed its face close to the barrier again. It puckered its lips and made sputtering noises. The ship's computer beeped. That was unwise. Extreme stimuli may overload the human's delicate neural network. I huffed. You don't say. I turned down the barrier's power setting. Clearly, open communication would remain impossible until we could establish a common language. Suddenly, the human grasped its helmet with both hands and twisted sharply counterclockwise. There was a hiss of depressurization. Condensation billowed from its suit as icy vapor. Alarm klaxons blared through the ship. "Expel atmosphere from the human cell immediately!" I yelled. What was it doing? It should be dying. The computer repressurized the cell with our own atmosphere, yet the human showed no signs of distress. It removed its helmet, revealing a pale, furless face and a tangle of brown filaments atop its head. "How are you alive?" I asked in astonishment. "How did you survive depressurization?" The human smiled innocently and shrugged its shoulders. Again, it spoke no words I could comprehend, but its actions confirmed the legends. This human could withstand the vacuum of space. It was more resilient than any creature I'd encountered. Just what else was it capable of? I had to discover the full extent of its powers. For better or worse, our fates were now intertwined.